Today we're going to be removing that boring plastic tan steering wheel from the Forester and upgrading it to a leather stitched WRX wheel. Welcome to Garp Car Garage. What's up, people? My name's Dave. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Garp Car Garage. We're back in the garage today with the Subaru Forester, and today we're going to be replacing that boring OE foam rubber, whatever the hell it is, steering wheel with a WRX leather stitch steering wheel. Considering the front of a Forester and the front of a WRX or front of an Impreza are essentially the same through the, I think it's 2007 to 2014 model year, this tutorial will basically go for Foresters, Imprezas, pretty much anything that has the same look to the interior. This is pretty straightforward. We've got two bolts in the side of the steering wheel that will release the airbag, one bolt that holds the airbag to the actual car. So this will be pretty straightforward. So first thing we're going to do when we're working on airbags is we're going to get in the car, we're going to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery, then we'll start taking those Torx bits out of the side of the steering wheel and we'll start getting these things swapped over. We're inside the Forester now, so we've got our T30, which is the size of those airbag screws, on a long ratchet with an extension. We're going to get that into the side of the steering wheel here. We're going to remove the airbag, and then we can remove the center nut to take out the steering wheel. So you can't really see it, similar to the Civic. You kind of just have to feel it, and once you get there, it'll kind of lock in. And just break it loose. Now these screws are captured, which means they will not fall out. We'll get the other side in here. Both screws are removed. I should now be able just to pry out the airbag. So now that we got the airbag kind of sitting out, we've got a couple connectors on the inside. So what we need to do now is remove the connectors from the back of the airbag, and that'll allow us to completely remove the airbag. So we can see those two actual connectors on the airbag, and then here we've got a ground cable for the horn. So we're just going to remove these connectors. 1, 2. And there we have it. Factory airbag is removed. All that's left now is remove the steering wheel. Center bolt on the steering wheel is a 17. You got it on a driver. It's going to line it up, give it a wrap, and it should come right off. Now we just got to give the steering wheel a little wiggle.
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
And that is not how you do it, as I just blew up the clock spring. Fantastic. All right, so this is what happens when you don't pay attention. There is a connector that's built into the steering wheel, and if you do not take that off and you yank, the entire clock spring is going to completely grenade. So this was a completely avoidable mistake that cost me not only time and a lot of it, because I attempted to rewind this thing, which is nearly impossible, but I had to make a trip to the scrapyard to pick up another one. So we're going to get this clock spring installed into the car. The only benefit was I managed to get a black steering wheel surround, so that's the only silver line I can take to this. So we're going to get this steering wheel back on, which I put on again just so I could drive the car in and out of the shop, and we'll get the new clock spring on and get the proper steering wheel finally installed. So we've got the clock spring installed, the wiring's back in, so we're going to put on that new black column surround, and then we'll get the new black steering wheel on it. We're finally at the point where we can put on the new steering wheel. Now this connector here, this is the connector that you must unplug from the clock spring before you pull the steering wheel out. The one that I regretted to pull out and caused all the pain for myself. So we are going to get the steering wheel on, plug the clock spring back in, get the airbag in it, and hopefully the first turn I make, not going to set the airbag light back on again. So let's get this on, and hopefully this nightmare is over. For the steering wheel nut, we're going to put that back on. Grab our airbag. We're going to attempt to plug in our airbag connectors, orange to orange, black connector on the black, obviously, and the horn ground. The horn ground just goes on the spade connector at the back. Airbag is plugged in, so we just got the T30s on the side. We'll place the bag back in, tighten the T30s down, connect the battery back together, and hopefully we don't have any airbag lights or any other terrible stuff happening. But the way this has been going, I wouldn't put it past it. All right, let's get the battery hooked up and pray for the best. All right, so moment of truth. We're gonna fire the car up, move the steering wheel rotation side to side, and hopefully we don't set an immediate airbag light or have the horn going off consistently, because that can happen too. So far, so good. Let's rotate the wheel. No airbag light. Oh, I'm gonna count that as a success. All right, so steering wheel is finally installed back on the car, and I can tell you that leather stitched steering wheel definitely has a better in-hand feel than that old base model foam wheel does. This install is pretty simple as far as installs go, as long as you don't blow up the clock spring, which adds a different element of interestingness to the whole situation. So as long as you follow the steps and don't do what I do, this is a pretty easy, straightforward replacement on any WRX, Impreza, or Forester to change to an up trim steering wheel. Now, basically the only difference between the STI wheel, the WRX wheel, and the Forester wheel is the airbag pad changes, and some have a different color stitching in the leather. So basically any of these Subarus, wheels are interchangeable, airbags are interchangeable, no issues whatsoever. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to watch me today. If you've got any questions, comments, general inquiries, drop them in the comment box below. I try and get back to everyone who's reached out to me with a question or a comment. I'd like to thank DJ Smokey for being the official music provider here at Garb Car Garage. You can check him out on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Again, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in a couple weeks for the next one.